came up to me the other day in Oklahoma and introduced himself. Bobby, it was nice to meet you. I appreciate you coming up and saying hi. I do enjoy meeting some subscribers. But yeah, sorry we couldn't really talk a whole lot there, Bobby. We were right there in the fuel lane, so I didn't really want to hog it up anymore. But yeah, I mean, it was good to meet you. But yeah, it was a pretty good day too that day. I got my bolts issue fixed on the truck. Found a couple mechanics in Cuba, Missouri. It got to the point where it was really bad, and it was really, I wasn't getting anything from the alternator anymore. There's a wire that was so bad that it was just, it just wasn't letting anything from the alternator charge the batteries. So it was down to like 12, and you know, I was starting to worry that I was going to start losing my injectors. So I was almost to that Cuba, Missouri truck stop, the Midwest Travel Plaza. And boy, I tell you what, they got real mechanics in there, I'll tell you. They're not looking at a computer screen, they know how to diagnose. And they found my issue in about 5 minutes. They found exactly what the issue was. I knew about where the area was because earlier that day I noticed if I played with a certain wire or a group of wires, I would notice it would manipulate my gauge. So I knew it was in that area, but none of the wires seemed like they were loose or broken to me. But it ended up being the big ground wire on the back of the starter. They replaced the end on that, and it was good to go. I had them replace a few more ends, just for good measure, that looked like they were pretty corroded and ready to go. But yeah, they got that going. The gauge is on a solid 14. Doesn't matter what I do anymore. All my lights are on, heater's on. Everything is running, and it's acting like it's a champ now. It's been like that now for about 3 days, and it hasn't dropped off of 14 once yet. So I'm super excited. That's been an issue that's actually plagued me since I got this truck, and I couldn't figure out where the wire was because I was looking for a wire that was visibly loose on a stud, or you know, somewhere around there, but I couldn't find one. And really, with this issue, the only way to tell that it was that wire was to have somebody wiggle the wire and then have somebody else up in here looking at the gauge. You know, it was a two-person job because it was secure on the bolt. It was secure on the back of the starter. But he wiggled the wire, and as soon as he wiggled the wire, I saw my gauge just kind of, you know, bounce around a little bit. So that's how we knew it was that wire. But like I said, there's no way to really tell that without a second person in the cab. So I'm super thankful to those guys. That's a big relief off of my shoulders right there. But yeah, here. But yeah, just a nice strong 14 right there. All the lights are running. So anyways, it's just kind of a monologue. The rest of the video was basically taken a while ago. I just wanted to add this in there. You know, the appreciation for the subscriber that came up and said hi to me. That was, like I said, that kind of stuff brightens my day. I like meeting subscribers. I really do. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't make it to the truck show this weekend. But you know, we're just trying to pack as much as we can away for right now because like I said, we're going on vacation next week. And I always like to put as much money in the bank as I can before we go on vacation. So yeah, that's what we're doing. But anyways, guys, here's the rest of the video, and hope you guys enjoy. What's going on, guys? Good afternoon, I guess. Yeah, good afternoon now. It is the next day. We delivered that load to Martin Brower, as you saw in the previous short video I made. Yeah, that was interesting. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get off here, get some fuel. I'm heading down to Burlington, Iowa, where I'll pick up my next load to go to Texas. So, yeah, I think it's, yeah, there's the Casey's right there. Good deal. I love this Casey's right here. I'm in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And this Casey's here on the 380, not far north of the 80. Really nice little truck stop, gotta say. So we're gonna get off here. I'll get fuel here with my discount for about $4.24 a gallon. It was only $3.99 a gallon yesterday. But it went up almost 30 cents overnight. At least my discount did anyway. But yeah, you know what the best thing is about YouTube and having a YouTube channel is that I used to talk to myself all the time in the truck, and I did it for free. Not anymore. Anyway, let's go ahead and... Oh shit, you are turning red on me, buddy. That's not cool. Oh no. How about we drop it here? There we go. Yeah, right here, this Casey's. Like I said, nice truck stop. It's always got, I guess it's the owner, I don't really know, but every time I come here, it's the same guy, and he's full of life. I mean, he is just, he's got a hell of a positive attitude, and I love it. And he just kind of comes off to me as like he's probably the owner of this this particular one, maybe. You know, like he's just always trying to interact with the customers in a really positive way. And I like it. That's the kind of thing that brings customers back, you know? Alright, ooh. Look at that baby blue 389 right there. I like it. But yeah, I don't have to be down there. I've got like pretty much once I get fuel and start heading down, I'll get there like right on time. Right on time. So, in other words, I don't have a whole lot of time to spare. So let's get her do it. Get to it. Get her done. Get to it. Get her done. Whatever you want to say. Put on our hoodie because it's not that cold, but the wind is still not my favorite right now. So let's go get some fuel. It's windy still. I hate it. I hate the wind. I forgot that when you come here, you just gotta click the pay inside option because the machines don't read your corporate cards out here. So yeah, when you come to a Casey's like this, you gotta go inside. Just click the go inside button. So let's go do that and fuel up. That's wind. I'm tired of the wind. Pay inside. Please. I get it. I'm gonna pay. Don't worry. It is not coming out like it should be. Oh my gosh, this wind! Why has it got to be so windy? All right. Yeah, it's just not coming out that fast at all. This is going to take a while. Alright, we're still looking good on the power steering. That's a good thing. But yeah, see, it was coming out like I could see it dripping somewhere down, like off of that bolt right there. So I'm guessing it's running down from somewhere. Oh, man. Look how slow that's going. Oh, I wanted to put like 175 gallons in. Yeah, this one's just barely coming out. Well, that only only took about 20 minutes. Holy cow. Woo! That took a while. That's a slow pump. This right here is a really pretty drive, guys. I'm on 54 in Missouri. Stayed back there at the Kingdom City, Missouri Petro last night again. Yeah, I went ahead and had we put new air filters on this morning and new fuel filters. She's running pretty good now. It's a beautiful day today, man. Holy cow. Very nice day today. Got me a shower this morning. I was a little disappointed though. One thing I liked about Petros is they typically have scrambled eggs and sausage you can get for breakfast at their little hot deli at the fuel islands. And they didn't have it this morning. I love me some scrambled eggs and sausage for breakfast. Oh well, got me some coffee at least. Yeah, like I said, I got the all new filters in here. Somebody mentioned I should do the K&N air filters. I don't really see I don't see the reward with the K&Ns. You know, I was looking at them and they're about $250 a piece. Maybe more, I guess. But a basic air filter is $75. That's all I paid. $75 for the air filters. You know, so if you think about it, I get that the K&N is cleanable. You know, you can service it and reuse it, which I don't really trust anyway. I don't trust reusing my air filters, but I get that you can, and that's the whole that's the whole appeal to the K&N air filter. But think about it, $250 for one of those, and 75 or $77 for the basic one. Well, I could buy about 3 of the basic ones for the cost of one K&N. So that's basically that's 3 service intervals for the K&N. I just don't see the reward with the K&N. That's just me though. But yeah, anyway, we're heading, like I said, we're heading down to Texas, and like I said, gorgeous day. On a bad little highway here. Yeah, that was the first time since I got this truck that the air filters were replaced. And I'll tell you what, it made a difference between that and the fuel filters. Well, we stopped at the TA in Stratford, Missouri to use the bathroom and get something to eat. Yeah, and to inspect the damage from the deer that hit my truck earlier. Yes, that's right, the deer that hit my truck. I did not hit the deer. Darn thing came out of the median and plowed right into the side of my truck. Didn't do any damage, thankfully, except for the driver's side quarter fender in front of the drive tires. So it kind of banged it up a little bit. It's not even that bad, but it's bent a little bit and kind of wobbly. So I guess we'll get some new quarter fender. Maybe upgrade. But yeah, we're gonna get back on the road. Still got to make it to Texas. Oh my gosh, why do people park like this? This prime driver, that is where that prime driver is, that's part of the lane. I hope I can get around him without doing more damage to my truck. Oh, and then that guy's gonna park right there on the left? What is this, rookie hour? Alright, let's see. Well, we cleared the prime. Yeah, they just park wherever they want to here. Alright. Alrighty. Look at that blue sky up there. Awesome if I could get to Texas tonight yet and get that Texas DOT done. Thought about stopping down here at 4 States because we're going to be driving right by 4 States, but they're closed on Sundays apparently, so that won't be happening. Yeah, I hit that deer right there at the Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. I saw the thing coming. It was coming right out of the median, but there wasn't anything I could do. It was, broad daylight, the darn thing running full speed right at the truck. And, I didn't want to slam on my brakes, so I just let off the fuel and let off the throttle. And I veered a little bit to the right, and I think doing that is what saved the hood on my truck, because if I hadn't veered off to the right, I think I would have hit him on the nose instead of the side. So I was afraid that maybe he did something to my tanks, but no, he made impact right between the sleeper and the front drive axle, and then bounced off the quarter fender. And I'm surprised it didn't completely break that quarter fender off, but all it did was bend it. It left a little bit of traces from the deer on the quarter fender. So other than that, it wasn't bad. I was expecting a lot worse. It almost, I'm sure I drove over it with my, actually I don't know if I did drive over it with my tires. By the way it sounded when it hit, it sounded like it blew a tire. What's up, guys? We're getting loaded right now. I know I haven't been vlogging a whole lot since my since my complaining about the that last place, the Brower, Martin Brower. Somebody commented saying it was Martin Brothers, but no, it's Martin Brower. It's the supply warehouse for McDonald's, things like that. I've been to a bunch of them. Martin Brower. I'm in Shreveport right now. Just a little recap. I got the trailer unloaded yesterday. Hey, what's up?
About 10 more minutes, then we're going to load.
Perfect, buddy. I appreciate it, man. We unloaded in Claiborne. Somebody might correct me on the enunciation, but Claiborne, Texas yesterday at a Walmart. And then I had to get the trailer inspected for the Texas state inspection. So I got that done. Trailer is legal. We're good to go. The rates coming out of Texas, they're some of the worst rates I've seen. They really are. The rates in Texas are terrible. Just not good at all. So besides the rates, there was a huge storm coming. Potential for what I was reading. Baseball size hail is what I was reading for the potential of tornadoes, all that crap. I'm like, you know what? It ain't worth waiting around for a $2.20 per mile load. I just wanted to go and get out of there. So I drove, I started driving deadheading towards Texarkana, and I stopped at my favorite TA on 30 right there, and I believe Mount Pleasant, I think is the town it's in, somewhere around there, around exit 147, where it's they have an amazing barbecue joint in there. I love brisket, and they have amazing barbecue, amazing brisket. Anyway, so stopped there, got some lunch, looking at the loads, and I found a load actually in Shreveport going to Pryor, Oklahoma. And I got it, I didn't get it for quite as much as I wanted to, but I still got it for like $340 or $350 a mile, paying $1,200, going from Shreveport, which is where I'm at now, getting loaded, and it's going up to Pryor, Oklahoma for tomorrow morning to a Sigma. Then I'm picking up a load literally 2 miles from that load's delivery in Pryor, and it's going to Hammond, Indiana, and that one's like 640 miles, 650 miles, and I got that one for $311 a mile. So that one's paying, I think it's $2,200. So about $3,400 between those two loads, with an average of about $330 a mile between the two loads. Now we're going to go ahead and deliver that in Hammond, Indiana, which is not I hate that area. That's Gary, Indiana area. I've actually had parts stolen off of one of my trucks in Gary. I can't stand it. So anyway, we're going to deliver that, and then I'm picking up a load after that delivers, and that's picking up around Chicago. And I'm taking that to Webster City, Iowa, another 300-mile load. And that one is paying $1,300 for only 7,000 pounds. So essentially I'll be empty. And then I'm picking up a load 40 miles away from Webster City on Friday, going to New Baltimore, Michigan, which is just north of Detroit. And that load is picking up, like I said, in Ames, Iowa, and it's around 600 miles, 620 miles, and I got that one for $2,400. So again, another $360 a mile load, somewhere around there, $350 or $360 a mile, to go back to Michigan. And then there I will be in my territory. I'll be in the area that I personally thrive in, for short runs anyway. Now I'm going to get into a little bit how I think that you can really make the best rates with these terrible fuel miles or fuel costs right now. The best way to make some of these rates, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is the shorter runs. A lot of you guys out there are just gung-ho about the long hauls. I get it. I love them. They're fun. You see more of the country, and they're less stressful. The long hauls are less stressful, and that's because you're 2 or 3 days in the truck before you see anybody else. You don't have to bump a dock or take unsecure or resecure a load if you're a flatbed or something like that, every day. So it's less stress. I get that. But right now the money is not in the long hauls. It just isn't. And where I live, my area that I call my area, where my truck is parked within 120 miles, I have some of the best industry of the entire country. My truck is parked basically right at the intersection of 70 and 75. So what that means is I'm within about 120 miles of all these major cities: Toledo, Dayton, Columbus, and Indianapolis. And if you really want to stretch it, I'm not that far from Chicago. Oh, and Cincinnati. I think I said, did I say Cincinnati? That's kind of a given, but I'm that close to Cincinnati as well. And then of course you've got Cleveland's not the best from my experience, but there's still stuff up there. You got Cleveland, you got Akron, you got all those suburb areas around Cleveland. So I mean, it's really a fantastic area, and that makes for some really good short hauls. And what I mean by really good, I mean 200-300 mile loads paying upwards of $5, even $6 a mile still right now. And that's kind of the goal. That's kind of what you want to do to optimize your fuel usage, and not stopping at the pump so much per load. These short runs, if you can get them for the good rates, yeah, you're it's a little more hectic because you're bumping the docks a lot more and all that stuff. But you make a lot more money. I mean, your gross to net income, or your gross to net ratio, is a lot better. So like for me, for instance, say I gross $5,000 in a week, but I only spend $1,000 on fuel because I'm only doing these short runs. Well, I've just netted $4,000. I mean, granted, there's other expenses, but as far as what the fuel goes, I've been able to net $4,000, and then fuel is your biggest expense out here, and not to mention the wear and tear on the truck. That's another reason why I didn't want to wait around in Texas. I don't like to haul heavy loads. That's all that was coming out of Texas too. The heavier the load, obviously, the more I bump up the rate, because it's more wear and tear on the truck, and wear and tear on the truck is a big deal. Tires are very expensive. It's not even cheap anymore just to get a service done on the truck. So if you can get if you can go a longer period of time, not necessarily more miles, because you don't want to stretch your mileage interval for your services, but if you can go a longer period of time making more money but driving less miles, you won't spend as much money getting services done. You'll spend less on tires. Everything will be less over a period of time. And that's what you really got to keep in mind out here. So for me, the shorter runs are where it's at right now. So that's just where you've got to kind of set your sights. To me, that's where you got to set your sights at, or on the shorter runs. Again, like I said, I know a lot of guys don't. A lot of guys are looking for that $4 a mile on 1,500 miles. And that just ain't happening right now. That is not happening. In fact, that didn't really happen that much before. Sure, you could get it on a load coming, like if you took a really crappy load out to like Arizona or something like that, you might get, $4 a mile on even 2,000 miles to come back. But to go out there, you only got like $1.80, $1.90 to go out to Arizona. That's if you took a load straight out there, so really, even on average, these long hauls weren't paying $4 a mile. If you average it out, sure, there were some that came back that were paying $4 a mile on a lot of miles, but like I said, to get out there, you weren't making that. So unless you have connections, I'm sure there's always the exception to the rule, and somebody's going to point that out in the comments. Well, I made $5 a mile each way. Good, man. I'm glad you did. But generally speaking, you weren't averaging $4 or $5 a mile both ways. You just weren't. So you had to sacrifice to go out there in order to get the good mileage to come back. It's just the way it was. So people that are, you know, complaining that we're not getting the $4, $5 a mile loads anymore for the long hauls, well, we really weren't before. Like I said, to me, it's always about the short hauls. If you can, you know, if you can manage it, you know, you can be home more that way because you're always going by your house. It's just, to me, it just makes a lot more sense. So that right there, to me, is a great way to maximize each fill up, to get the most out of every fill up out here, is on these shorter runs. I'm only running on recaps this week. I'm running all on recaps, and I'll be running on recaps until I go home. I've got to be home by Tuesday, anytime on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I have a dentist appointment, and then on Thursday is when we leave to go to Cancun. So I'm just trying to build up as much as I can, and then, like I said, I'll put the truck in the shop. Well, here is a old Royal. Is it a Heister? It's like an H. I don't know. A Royal. I feel like if Tim from Gentry and Sons were here, he'd be trying to buy that right now. We're still getting unloaded. I'm sorry, we're still getting loaded, not unloaded. Unloading will be tomorrow. Man, I got so mad the other day. No, look at this right here. Yeah, that's fun. I was doing a pre-trip on a real windy day, and I went to go close my hood. And when I was closing my hood, the wind blew the hood to the right, to the driver's side. And right as I'm lowering it, and then that part there where you just saw, it got hung up in like the metal like brackets that the hood rests on. Yeah, I got caught right in there and just scratched it all to hell. So that really made me mad. I really don't like the wind. Costs you money in like every way possible when you're a truck driver, unless it's pushing you, then it saves you money. But yeah, I also got I put new air filters in here, and man, somebody mentioned doing that the other day on one of my videos. And the new filters, the new air filters in this thing were exactly what the doctor ordered for this sucker. It was running a lot stronger with those new air filters. I can even hear the whistle on the turbo a lot better coming out of the exhaust. So I'm pretty happy about that, actually. It made a pretty big difference. All right, we are all loaded up. I'll slide my tandems forward a little bit. I hope I can get those tandems slid up some. It's a pretty heavy load, and it's all the way to the door. So, you know, I can't be driving around with my tandems all the way back. I'll have to slide them up some, and then I guess go weigh the truck. Oh, that figures. I parked right in a puddle. No. Yep. setting any speed records. Well, we're getting her. It really is, though. It really is a beautiful drive. I do like it, but this just isn't my favorite area for loads, you know. Yeah, look at that. It's a 2-lane road and it's a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit. Gotta love Texas. And I really do love this drive. It's you don't really expect this out of Texas, you know. I mean, I know I never expect Texas to be just all desert, obviously, but you don't really expect this kind of somewhat lush greenery either. At least I don't, but that's just because I'm not from here. Pyrometer staying nice and cool. I'm on a toll road, 359. But yeah, we can kind of see some mountainous regions. Really pretty. Going through a lot of Indian reservations along here. Just thought y'all might like to see it. People that aren't familiar with this area, it's a pretty sight. This right here is just one of the perks of truck driving. Going places you've never been before, seeing sights you've never seen. Our country really is a beautiful country. And that's something you just don't get to experience with the normal 9 to 5 job. At least not on a daily basis. Saw some deer a little bit back here. They were smart enough to not run out in front of me this time. There are probably a good 20 deer back there eating in the grass right there on the tree line. Really cool to see. Guys, well, I am parked here for the night. I'm delivering, well, I'm at my delivery, so I'll check in the morning. They're all closed. But yeah, if you guys are ever coming, I don't really see this on the board very often, but if you ever come to a Sigma, well, I might be eating my words here in a minute. Somebody might come and tell me to move. But if you ever come to a, nope, I guess we're good. Yard driver is driving by. Like I said, the place is closed except for yard drivers running around. But yeah, Pryor, Oklahoma, Sigma. There's a big open dirt lot in the back with a few drop trailers, and there's a sign that specifically says outside carrier parking. So that would be me. So it was kind of nice. I'm glad I pushed it and just came here tonight. I took the chance to see if I could park here. So it saves me a lot of time in the morning because I'm picking up that load only about 2 miles away from here, and then from there I've got a 650 mile drive that I have to make sure I'm able to get delivered by 10 a.m. the following morning. So, which won't be really that big of a deal, but I didn't want to have, you know, some driving to get to here, and then driving to get to the next, you know, the pickup tomorrow. All of that, you know, all that adds up on the e-logs. Makes it a little bit more difficult. So being able to come straight here to the receiver saves you a lot of time. You know, for anybody out there that's new, company driver, anything, saves you a lot of time if you just drive straight to the receiver, assuming they have parking for you. Some places won't let you, but I looked on Google Maps before I came up here, and it's a very small community up here in Pryor, Oklahoma, and there's small warehouses. It just kind of, when you've been doing it long enough, you kind of get the feeling for what places will let you and what won't, even without calling to see. You just kind of get that feeling. And then if you look at Google Maps, like I did, you'll see that there's a big open dirt lot here. And, you know, worst case scenario, it's like, well, you know, I should be able to find a place to kind of hide amongst the rest of the trailers in that drop lot. And thankfully, when I got here, this lot, like I said, the sign specifically said outside carriers. So I'd say that's a pretty good sign, no pun intended. So yeah, like I said, we're just gonna get some rest, and then, like I said, go from here to the place I'm picking up at. I forget what it's called, but it's going to Hammond, Indiana. But yeah, I like it when I can do this. Like I said, it takes a little bit of the stress off of you when you know you have a long drive the next day, and you have to be able to do it all in one shift. It makes it a lot easier to do that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Hope you guys enjoyed some of that driving footage. Very beautiful drive through Oklahoma. Like I said, I was on I think I was on 359. It was a toll road going straight up through Oklahoma. Not 44, obviously. Some I think it was a state highway. And then came up on 69, and it was just a pretty drive. And then some of the footage down there in Texas. Like I said, I don't know if you could hear me while I was driving or not, but you don't really think of Texas as having all that greenery. You know what I mean? You just don't. You just kind of think more like ranches and things like that. But yeah, it can be a beautiful state. You know, I mean, it's beautiful everywhere. I like being out in the country. I can't stand coming to Texas for a load, but it's a beautiful state. You know, it really is. I hate dealing with Dallas traffic. I swear, no matter what time of day you come into Dallas. I came into Dallas at like 10 o'clock at night on Sunday, and it felt like rush hour back in my neck of the woods. It was, you know, a rush hour on a weekday back in my neck of the woods. It's like you can't get away from the traffic if you're coming into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Usually it's a great time to sneak into a busy city at 10 o'clock at night, let alone 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday. But not Dallas. Not Dallas one bit. They were just as busy as any other time. Well, maybe not for them, but like I said, it was equivalent to rush hour back in my neck of the woods. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off here, and we'll go ahead and, like I said, get some rest. I'm tired as hell, but I'm just kind of babbling right now, so we will catch you guys on the next video, I guess. Hope you guys are staying safe out there and keep surviving to thrive, and we'll see you next time. And by the way, sorry for the noise, the background noise in that last clip. I just got here, I just parked, and just a word of advice for anybody that is new, whatever, new to driving in general. You never want to just shut one of these diesel engines off right away. The hot oil, if you shut it off, you run the risk of drying out the gaskets and things in the turbo, the seals in the turbo, prematurely, and then it's a recipe for disaster when that happens. So it's always a good idea to let your truck idle for a while and cool off. In fact, some of these trucks, some of these older trucks like this one doesn't have this option, but a lot of them did. There's a little knob on the dash, and it's a timer. It looks like a timer that you like an old school timer in a kitchen. You know, where you just turn the dial to whatever time you want, for however many minutes you want it to go off at, and you set that on these trucks, and it will. You're able to, like, that way when you come home, and you don't want to just sit in the truck for whatever, half an hour, 20 minutes to let it cool off. You just set that dial to whatever time you want it to shut off at. Pull the key out of the ignition, which I can do that anyway while it's running. But you pull the key out of the ignition, get in your car, go home. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes later, whatever you set it at, the truck will shut itself off when that timer counts down. It's kind of a cool little feature, but it's like I said, it's such a important thing when you're driving, when you have one of these trucks, that you don't shut it off right away. It's so important that Peterbilt and Kenworth themselves, and I'm sure other manufacturers implemented it as well, put a specific tool in the truck to help you with that, so you didn't have to sit in the truck and let it, you know, while it cooled off. So it, you know, like I said, it's pretty important to let it cool off. So that's why I didn't shut it off right away. I figured somebody would say something about, well, why didn't you shut it off while you're talking? That's annoying. Well, that's why. I guess I could have waited till later to make that clip, but it is what it is. This is another wasted 2 minutes of me babbling. So see you guys later. Be safe.